Now, a regional response to the migrant crisis facing Europe has been agreed by councils across the East Midlands.
A new board will decide how to resettle vulnerable Syrian families and unaccompanied children. Our social affairs correspondent Jeremy Bull was at today's meeting at Nottinghamshire's County Hall. So Jeremy, what are they trying to achieve with this new board?
Well, this is really about spreading the load more fairly and putting the right resources in place so that it doesn't put pressure on any of our existing communities and so that new arrivals get the support they need. And we're talking about families like the Murads who escaped from the war in Syria and who've now been settled in Nottingham. They've been telling me how they were forced to leave their home and their businesses after constant bombing from two sides.
You have my brother, he's stay in the house, he's come and bomb, he's died, you know, never no sleep.
It's bomb every house.
The bombs?
Yeah. It come house, his people died.
The Murads were flown here from the Middle East under the government's resettlement programme. Around 140 Syrians have arrived in the East Midlands through that scheme so far, and our councils have pledged to take several hundred more in the next few years. But they're also dealing with almost 3,000 people who've claimed asylum here. That number's far lower than it used to be, but it's starting to rise again. And they're also caring for another 250 unaccompanied children. Overall, though, that's in a region which has more than 4 million people. So I asked the man in charge whether we should worry about the numbers.
Actually, I think the real worry is, are these people being properly looked after? Particularly if you're talking about unaccompanied children, because actually the numbers are relatively small, but they're still significant in terms of the responsibility that councils are being asked to look after them, and also the impact it can have on councils' own budgets as well.
So what difference is this new regional migration board going to make then?
What we will do is put in place a very clear, locally owned system where these people can be very quickly and efficiently and effectively rehoused throughout the East Midlands.
And it's those unaccompanied children that are going to be the top priority because the government's just begun to disperse them away from Kent, which means more young people are going to be cared for here. And our councils say the government isn't covering the full costs of things like fostering and schooling.